Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple, stock is down 0.34%, so Apple again went back up to 230, came back into this rising 5-day moving average, which is sitting pretty much exactly at 228, and it was holding on Friday, went back up, and now trading inside this range where this thing can break out from 230 bucks. And if that happens next week, we might see an explosive move up to previous all-time highs, 236 to 237, and that's how far this Bollinger Band on top already expanded. Now question is this actually safe to trade this? If you're going long, I would say good luck, and if you're trading this as a day trade, fantastic idea. Over 230, we might see that move continuing to this previous all-time highs, which is at 237. You can play this, take your money and leave, not wait for more upside, because this could be also a double top. If we get a rejection but double top to play out, we need to take out this low down here, which is a long way down. So it's not so easy just because I'm calling this a double top. It's just not so easy where this thing's just gonna crash, right? So Apple under 230, this critical levels right here needs to hold below. That's 228, and then next one 226. Under that, you're going to see a flush down to right here, and that's going to be around 222, and then 220. 220 gives up. This is where bears will take over, and this thing can pull back easily down to 207, and from there much lower. Over 230, yes, blue sky above, and this thing can pump all the way back up to previous all-time highs, 237, and the Bollinger Band will allow the stock to move even higher because it's sitting at 236. So watch out, Apple might be the stock that's going to make a huge impact in this market next week. Happy Labor Day everybody. So I do have a special for you guys on this Labor Day, starting right now up until Labor Day midnight 12 a.m. Annual membership Premium Plus for 1 year. It's gonna be only 500 bucks. This is not a monthly payment. There is no option on Patreon to do one-time payment, so it says monthly, but you're going to get charged for only $500 one time for 1 year, and you get access to this tier right here, which actually costs 100 bucks per month. That is like $1,200, and you're getting it for only 500. So 70% off, and you are really serious about trading and you want to join, this is the time to join right now. On AMD, it's up 2%, so AMD might be the stock that actually going to make that move next week. You can see right here into closing on Friday, up 2% and holding 148 as a support into closing, and pretty much breaking out of this bull flag consolidation. Now we don't have a confirmation yet, we just got to close over 148. So next week 148 can hold on AMD. We might see a move up to 153, and from there AMD can go all the way up to 164, and then we can even talk about this gap at almost 175. Now 148 gives up. We do have support at 145 right here, rising 5-day moving average, and underneath that level this bull flag will not play out, and this thing can dump back down to 138. On Tesla, stock is up 3.80%, so Tesla from this bull flag consolidation pretty much breaking out right here. Now also keep that in mind, Tesla is over this resistance right here, 212, so that's going to act as a strong support going into Tuesday's session. But if this thing can hold 212, we might see that move early as Tuesday back up to 221 50-day moving average, and over that 228 previous high, and also this Bollinger Band on top sitting at 227.33. So it can go there, and from there Tesla can push even higher. Now Tesla gives up 212, then the next support right here at 208, and under that you're going to see a flush down to 200. So this bull flag, I don't know how this is going to play out. Also another thing I want to point out that these two Bollinger Bands, one here on bottom and one here on top, pretty much getting really close and is squeezing this stock inside. So we're going to see explosive move very soon here on Tesla. We just have to wait and see which way this thing plays out. Maybe we get to see this bull flag playing out and this thing can go back up to 245.63 to close this gap on top. On Microsoft, it's up almost 1%, so Microsoft did hold this support 413, and we talked about it in my last video that 413, now that's going to be your level to buy that dip, and if you actually caught this dip, well, you're up decently right here on Microsoft, and this thing can push even higher. You can see we actually closed right under this orange line, which is sitting at 417.49, so soon as that breaks, you're going to see a quick trip up to 420, and over that, this thing can move even higher up to 430s. Up to this 50-day moving average, and then we can talk about this gap. And I think the way Apple actually went up and closing that gap at 232, we can see a similar move here on Microsoft to close this gap at 443, and that is a decent size move, especially if you're in this trade on Microsoft. Now to the downside, this is also a lower high, right? So we need to see, this high taken out right here by Microsoft, which is at 427. So if that happens, yes, you'll see a big move, possibly back up to this gap, 443. Until then, critical support at 413, and if that gives up, we will see a dump off, possibly all the way back down to 400. On Meta, it's up 0.60%, so Meta closing over 520, and a lot of consolidation back and forth. So Meta here, guys, soon I think we'll see a big move, but which way things are going to go, nobody knows. It's holding 520. Over 520, well, things can push back up to 526, 13-day moving average, and over that, watch out for 531, 538, and only over 538, which this thing did not actually hold. You can see even hitting up at all-time highs and then pulling back only over 538, you're going to see another brand new all-time high, or at least a retest of previous all-time highs. Under 531, critical support at 520. As soon as that gives up, the next one down here at 504 to 505 right here, 50-day moving average, this red line, and then 400 or 500. Underneath 500, we also have support at 490 on Meta. On Amazon stock, it's up 3.71%, and look at this big breakout from this bullish consolidation bull flag pattern, and we got this big bullish engulfing candle now, and trading over not only 173, over all these moving averages, and looks like it's heading for 180. That's gonna be the next stop, and over that, this thing gonna push even higher up to this 50-day moving average, 182.51, and then 185, and don't forget we have a gap on top at 192, and Amazon can get there with move like this that we saw on Friday. Now, only concern if this thing actually breaks down under 173, you gotta be really careful playing Amazon. This thing can easily dump down to 167, and from there even 160. So Amazon on the move, and we could see this move continuing, but it needs to hold over 173, and especially from this big bullish engulfing candle, I think we will see some follow through on Amazon early as next week. On Google stock, it's up 1%, so Google was dying here, came back to where? Well, 162, and you can see the magnetic support was holding on Thursday, went back up, and now trading slightly under 166. If we can cross over 166, and that means going over these moving averages, Google definitely will see a move up to 170. Now, same thing like Tesla. Bollinger Bands are squeezing here on Google. You can see upper Bollinger Band came back, and now it's at 170, and the lower one sitting at 162. So 160 actually. So there is not much room here on Google to move back and forth. And I think when you see a pattern like this, that means one thing, guys. A huge explosive move is coming. We just can't tell you like which way it's gonna go, because if you're gonna play this, you need to wait for confirmation, breakout over 170, and that means it's gonna play out to the upside. We have unfinished business, this gap on top, so it all makes sense. Now also, if you're gonna play this to the downside, you need to see Google actually breaking down under not only 162, I would say 160. In that case, Google will come back and retest 155, and from there can go much lower. And this is still within that bear flag pattern right here, and it can play out. So I mean, Google, it is opportunities, but you just got to play this really carefully. So Netflix also going up 1.28%, and finally slightly closing over 700. You can see this was a nice bull flag consolidation, and now if this thing can actually stay over 700, guess what guys, you will see brand new all-time highs, retesting previous all-time highs. I think it's at 716. It can go there easily early as next week, and then look at this Bollinger Band expanded up to 732 almost. So that could be a move where we see Netflix going up there. Now, if this is actually a fake breakout like we have seen before, hitting 700, going above and pulling back, but I think this time, as long as we can hold 700, we will see, you know, previous all-time highs getting retested and possibly Netflix making brand new all-time highs. But if this is actually a fake breakout, then you need a confirmation breakdown below this support right here. That's going to be around 676 to, I would say, 680, you know, give or take right here. These candles, we take out these candles right here, and then you'll see a dump back down to 664, 659, and underneath that level all the way down to 630. So Netflix is gonna be the top stock to trade next week. And why? We do have a nice setup. It's over 700. The longer this thing actually remains over 700, we will see this move playing out, and this thing can hit a brand new all-time high. Now, is this actually a good time to buy and go long? No, that is not what I'm saying. Day trade, take your money and get out of this stock. You don't need to hold this at brand new all-time high. Even though this thing can push even higher, it's really risky because this stock here can move 20-30 bucks, and if you're actually finding yourself on the wrong side of the trade, you're going to lose a lot of money. So it's better to just take profit day by day and not holding at a brand new all-time high stock like Netflix. On Nvidia stock, it's up over 1.5%. So Nvidia, the math is simple, and you can see we came back even on Friday, guys, back to back Thursday and Friday. What happened, we went slightly under 118, came back up, and now it's holding. So the longer time we spend over 118, this is actually a retest right here of this support, and if this thing can hold, we might see a pushback up to 123 to 126, and over that we're back in full bull here on Nvidia stock, and this thing can push even higher. Now, what I like to see here on Nvidia, especially for traders like us, that this thing comes down a little bit more, maybe even break this support. The cheaper you can buy, the more money you can make when this thing is going back up, like I did right here, buying this dip. So this was a fantastic opportunity right here. We loaded up the boat on August 5th, and then this thing took off. You can see 130 came. As you know, I was making all these videos, I was holding my shares, and this thing was pushing higher and higher. And then because of earnings, well, I had to get out of this stock and pretty much sold near the highs because I was just keep resetting my stop, and then I got stopped out. Now I'm looking to buy back into it, but you know, I'm not gonna chase at 118. That's not my style, so I'm gonna wait for that dip. If that happens under in the next month, guys, usually we get a pullback in October, and if that happens, we'll get that dip. So why, you know, market will be here tomorrow, market will be here next day, Nvidia will be here. Why rush and buy something at a higher price where we can wait and get that nice opportunity whenever there is a nice pullback on a big name like Nvidia? So I'm waiting to re-enter a position on Nvidia, but not gonna buy here even if this thing gets up to all-time highs. I'm not a chaser. I'm not going to chase this stock at this level. I need it more cheaper. So next week 118, that's gonna be a line in the sand. Underneath that, you'll see a drop possibly down to 107. There will be resistance at 123, and over that 126, 130, and a big breakout will happen over this range right here, and that's gonna be at 130 here on Nvidia stock. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys Tuesday night.